Hi everyone, so today I'm back with another series and I've been dabbling with this idea for pretty long actually, just talking about a lot of the cushion products that I have tried in tandem with the whole hype around Korean dramas. And if you guys know anything about me, I love Korean dramas and I've always been allured to like Korean actress makeup and that kind of thing, which explains why I have a very extensive collection of cushions. But that being said, I just wanted to go over the many cushions that I've tried and the amount of research and data that I have behind what Korean actresses actually use in the dramas and whether or not the cushions are actually that good. This would be just a consolidation of all those cushions that are highly raved about in Korean dramas and a breakdown of them in a very short and sweet manner. So if you guys want to hear what I have to say, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first drama that I'm going to be talking about is Descendants of the Blue Sea, and if you guys know a really famous actress from the drama, Jun Ji Hyun, and yeah, she basically was starring in a really popular drama way before this one. Yeah, I haven't caught up with that one, but after watching Legends of the Blue Sea, I was like really intrigued, and she basically used this cushion which I have. It's called the Hera UV Mist Cushion Ultra Moisture. It's this one that I have. It's in a very sleek lilac metallic casing with a white top and silver wordings on the casing. It's a plastic packaging with really substantially thick puff, and inside the product is a standard cushion. So as you can see, inside the compact is just a cushion saturated with product, and it basically is a super medium to almost full coverage kind of a cushion compact. And basically my thoughts on it is pretty standard because its name already lists out a lot of its benefits. It's UV protecting, it's moisture inducing, and also it is something that I really enjoy when my skin is dehydrated. I feel like the way it looks on my skin obviously doesn't look like how it looks like on her skin in the drama, but basically I find this cushion to be something that is really great for people with dehydrated skin and is also oily. But this is ideally perfect for people with dry skin, and also I wouldn't think this is perfect for people with severely dry skin, but if you're dry skin and dealing with a lot of flaky bits, this helps to smooth over all those areas and also just makes your whole complexion look really lifted and brightened. So I find that this cushion on the skin gives you a very nice and plumping effect for people who want that really nice youthful radiance, and I find that this cushion actually lasts in terms of its moisture qualities for about a good 4 hours, and anything after that, depending on your skin type, it can last to about 8 hours. But if you're someone who's really oily, this is definitely gonna need a bit of setting powder, but it does prove to be versatile for people with different skin type. Like I mentioned, it's perfect for people with dry skin, but it is compatible to an oily skin person like me, where I actually just do a light dusting of powder and that pretty much solves all my issues. And I generally have a 8 to 5 p.m. working day, and this still looks really good without breaking up or looking really cakey on the skin. Okay, moving on over to IOPE. This one is called the Air Cushion, and the one that I have is actually the one in the intense formulation, so I can't really say whether or not this is exactly the same cushion that she used. The one that she used was called the IOPE Air Cushion No Intense. So I got the shade N23. I'm an NC20 to 25. Basically this is a very sleek casing with a slight dome on the top with gold trimmings, a pearly white top and also pearly white bottom. When you open it up, it comes with a sponge, same thickness as well, and when you open it up, it's a cushion saturated with product. This cushion is very reminiscent of the Laneige cushions, but I will hit to that a little later. Similarly, from Jun Ji Hyun, she also acted as the character Chong Song-yi from the drama called Love from Another Star, and basically I had to read off my screen just because I didn't want to screw up the pronunciation. But yeah, she featured the IOPE cushion and the intense version, which is a little different because it's a lot higher coverage, but the formulation of it is super reminiscent of a very light wash of BB cream on the cheeks. I believe that this is better suited for people with acne scarring and people who do have a little bit of problematic areas to cover, because what she tried in the drama, based on my research, is actually the regular IOPE Air Cushion, and that proves to be something that is pretty lightweight, also similar to be slightly medium coverage, nothing too full, but the one I have is actually a lot more intense. But In comparison with the claims set online, the IOPE air cushion actually is better for daily use. There's nothing that wants you to look too flawless or too done up for a formal event, something that is more everyday suitable. So the one that I have is the intense version, and yeah, the color range also runs the same. I picked this one up instead of the other just because I do have a lot of acne scarring and discoloration, which led me to purchase this one instead of the air cushion. But this, the one that I have in the intense version, is a super good formulation. It's really good for people with acne scars, like I mentioned, oily skin. It does prove to be a little bit tacky to the touch. It isn't anything that's too mattifying, but it is super good if you want that kind of natural shine and a very put together appearance that will last throughout the whole day. It adheres to the skin really well, and you don't really need too much moisturizer with this, which is why I love this. Okay, moving on to the next actress, Park Bo Young. She starred in the show Oh My Ghostess, and she featured the Lancome Blanc Expert Cushion Compact, which I have here. Likewise, this one is the one in higher coverage, but the formulation is really similar. And yeah, it comes with a silver metallic reflective top with the signature Lancome rose on the top. It's with a plastic bottom. They are both plastic. It's really lightweight in packaging. When you open it up, it has the Lancome cushion. These Lancome cushions are slightly thinner than Korean puffs, but it is still really quite absorbent. When you open it up, it comes with this kind of a mesh veil that covers the actual cushion so that it's a little more hygienic and it doesn't get too much exposed to the air. I like this one because I got it in the shade B001, and the shade range runs a little different in Asia compared to the States, but this shade is super suitable for Asian skin. It gives you a very brightening effect. It actually looks a little lighter than your skin color, but it just is that kind of radiant inducing formulation that is super moisturizing. And also I find that this technology with the mesh actually does prevent the product from excessively soaking up into the cushion, that you have to use a lot of product on your skin. It actually allows you to press a little bit, apply where you need it instead of like overly applying too much product. And the formulation of this is, yet again, for most cushions, pretty moisturizing. This one I find to be a very brightening formulation that somehow is pretty different from other cushions. It's just, it gives you a radiance to the skin without adding shimmer. You know, feel like your whole skin is lifted and a lot perkier, but this doesn't do that. It's just, its formulation is very lightweight, it has good coverage, and it's just really nice on the skin. I feel like this sits better with people with combination skin just because it isn't too moisturizing, but just basically is a good cushion compact to use whenever you have flaky days or you just have exfoliated your skin and you want something that's pretty hydrating but not too dewy looking. At the end of this, I do have to set it with powder, but I find that on its own it looks really beautiful on the skin and it provides decent coverage because, as I mentioned, I got the intense formulation, so it is pretty high coverage and it doesn't color correct by any means, but it is something that you can just wear on an everyday without looking like you're wearing too much makeup. Okay, moving on to one of my all-time favorite cushions. This one is called the Mamonde Cover Powder Cushion, and this was first introduced to me by the drama Doctors, and I found out that Park Shin-hye, the lead actress, was actually the face of this brand, and I was really wanting to know what she used because her skin looked so good and also just didn't look super dewy like what I'm used to in Korean dramas, so I really wanted to find out what she was using. So when I discovered that she does use this even on a regular basis, I was pretty surprised. The name is a little bit of a throw off because it says Cover Powder Cushion. You assume that it will be really mattifying, but this is one of the most skin-like foundations that I have ever used, and also cushion foundations I've ever used. It comes with a standard sponge soaked in product, and the puff is pretty thick as well. But what I have to say about this is that I've already flipped it around, as in the cushion inside, I've already flipped it around, and I've only had this for about maybe 4 to 5 months. Basically, I've been using this non-stop, and it's the most natural looking cushion. It makes you wonder whether you have actual product on the skin, and I find that the cushion is just the right amount of product. It doesn't absorb too much into the sponge and it doesn't make you apply way too much. The formulation of this is not super dewy, so for people who want that really dewy appearance, this isn't one. But I like it because I am an oily skin girl, and throughout the day when my oils naturally produce, it just looks really skin-like, and also it doesn't make me look too greasy. I don't have to use setting powder with this, and it lasts for about 4 to 5 hours without setting powder already, which I enjoy thoroughly. And yeah, it's a basic kind of plastic packaging with a shimmery white top, and it has the name of the brand on top. I have the shade 23, and I find that this matches me really well. This does oxidize on the skin, so you do have to be careful if you want to maintain the brightness of the formulation. You do want to set that with powder immediately so that it doesn't turn to a little bit of an orangey shade on your face. But I really like this, and I find that this cushion in the shade 23 is one of those that skews a little bit darker. It doesn't make you look too washed out or too pale, and yeah, I really like this. Okay, so this is not so much a Korean actress sort of a thing, it's more like a celebrity endorsement, but Yoon-ah from SNSD actually acted in the drama K2, and I always love watching her act because it's like a breath of fresh air to see that a singer can actually act. But yeah, you guys know she's the really iconic face of Innisfree, and I picked up the Waterfit cushion which she famously uses, and I got my own custom casing, which is why it's so cute and doesn't look like any regular cushion case. But this is a super lightweight packaging, more so than the rest. It's really lightweight, and the formulation of the Waterfit is actually something that really surprised me, because I thought it would be something that is super dewy, super serum-like, and just really dewy on the skin, but surprisingly it isn't. It's just the right amount of moisture for people with combination to dry skin and also combination oily skin. I find that this naturally dries out because when you're exposed to the air-conditioned climate, or if you're in a cooler climate, it just gives your skin a very nice skin-like effect and almost like a demi-matte effect after a while. But when you first apply it, it's pretty dewy, pretty tacky, but it doesn't look to be too oily looking, so I really like this. In a lot of her ad campaigns, she looks really flawless, and I just find that this gives me about a medium to buildable full coverage, which proves to be something that is attested with, you know, all those ad campaigns. You would think that maybe it's not too true, but on my skin with a lot of acne spots that I have, this really did cover up without concealer, so that's what I really like about this. And yeah, I love Yoon-ah as well. Okay, so if you guys have been on my channel for quite a bit, you guys will have known that I picked up the Banila Bouncing BB Bouncing Cushion in BE20, and yeah, I picked this up because I found out that Ji Hyo from Running Man is the face of the Banila Co brand, but she famously uses the CC cushion, which I'm sure that she has tried this being a brand ambassador as well, and being on Running Man, she always has a very light makeup base, and it's always going to be like waterproof and mud proof because she does a lot of intense activities. But I love this cushion because of its really innovative packaging. It's a pump up system where it has a few dots indented into the top, and you can just push the product up to the surface and use a very precise amount that you want without the cushion actually drying out or anything like that. So I really enjoy using this for days where I don't want to have anything on my face that's too heavy. I find that the coverage it gives is mostly a highlight coverage, that on good days, if you have not much acne scarring, it is a medium coverage, but generally it's pretty much a light coverage. But I really like the formulation because it's super moisturizing, and it really is something that once it sets, I wouldn't say it wouldn't move, but it really feels like your skin will just stay perfect throughout the day. I really like this formulation just because it reminds me of sunscreen in a really weird way, like a tinted sunscreen where it will provide me a decent amount of sun protection as well as just coverage that's super natural, super lightweight, and something that looks to be slightly enhancing. And yeah, definitely a Ji Hyo induced purchase. Okay, last but not least, in the very famous Descendants of the Sun, Hye Kyo famously used the Laneige cushion, and I have the pore control version. It basically is a very nice holographic top, which is also a plastic packaging with a dense cushion inside. As you can see, it's like a patterned cushion, so it's not something that's just your regular cushion texture. It has a bit of ridges and it's in this pattern. It makes me believe that a lot of the coloration pigments are packed really tightly into this cushion. And yeah, basically what I like about this is that The formulation is something that is also really skin-like, not super dewy, and it is pore controlling in a way that it looks a little bit tacky. Like, it doesn't look mattifying by any means, but it doesn't let your pores produce a lot more oil. So I really enjoy this cushion because it is something that actually works in terms of pore control. People who have really enlarged pores, you do produce a lot more oil, but this cushion compact actually prevents that, and I really enjoy this because I don't have to use a primer, I don't have to use moisturizer. It's that all-in-one standard product that I use whenever I just want a really good everyday base. I will suggest that this is something that I would think that is too highly raved about because it performs like a regular cushion to me. It isn't anything that's too fantastic. It's not super flawless looking, it isn't super dewy looking, or it isn't super Korean-esque looking, but it's something that is super suited to the everyday user who can just pat it on and, you know, be comfortable with one's skin. So this is one that I have to critique a little harder because I do believe sales has definitely boosted after that Korean drama, but after trying it I was a little disappointed because it didn't prove to be anything that was too remarkable. So yeah, but I really love the casing and a lot of the design elements of it. I think they really took the time to design it, which is really exceptional. So yes, I thank you guys for watching me ramble and talk so much about cushions, but basically I really wanted to do this because a lot of my purchases are induced based on Korean dramas, and I hope I'm not the only one out there. But if you guys are interested in what your favorite Korean actresses are using, I hope this proved to be really helpful. And I'm really sorry if I butchered the names or I butchered the titles. I basically am just an everyday user, an everyday watcher of Korean dramas. I'm not a fan or anything, but I much prefer using things that I have seen in action and has seen how the product has worked on different people. So, which basically explains why I pick it up based on my experience with watching Korean actresses and their makeup application or whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you guys have any other recommendations for what you want to see on my channel, do leave it down below. Don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!